Well, let's go back to what I opened with, that Sri Lankan family, right? That the Laborers are generously allowed to stay when they have no right that I can see, and they've been showered with gifts. It's all very nice at a very time when people in Sri Lanka, they're in crisis there. They're looking at this and boats are now coming over. Big surprise. Joining me is a lawyer who knows exactly how this game works because he was a member of the Migration Review Tribunal and the Refugee Review Tribunal, hearing many illegal immigrants trying to explain why they're really a refugee and why we shouldn't send them back, etc., etc. He is Simon Jeans, now principal of Jeans Lawyers, specialising in immigration law. Simon, always great to catch up with you. Now, first of all, you know, happy that the family's happy, all that kind of stuff, but did this Sri Lankan family actually have any legal right to stay here?
Well, the parents had applied for refugee status and that had been refused, and they'd gone through an appeal process. Those decisions were upheld as correct in the federal courts. So they were only staying here longer, really as a stalling tactic, claiming that the children had protection claims, but the whole point is that they were waiting until Labor was elected either in 2019 or 2022. So the Minister has the power to grant anyone a visa who's had a visa application refused and been rejected by a tribunal. So the Minister has this power, but they also have guidelines, and under the guidelines, this family do not appear to have any exceptional or unique circumstances. And so the Minister only intervenes in a few hundred cases every year. So I think this was really driven by the media. And I've got a lot of cases where there have been injustices, and but I don't go to the media with them. And I'd like to think that these cases can be resolved without going to the media.
Well, more fool you, Simon, because even if you don't have a case and you go to the media, bingo, you get to stay when Labor comes in. No trouble at all. But what message, I mean, they're lucky, but what message do you think this is sending to Sri Lanka, which is in so much economic strife at the moment? And are you expecting even more boats?
Well, I don't think it'll be a specific pull factor for Sri Lanka. Because we have a good relationship with the Sri Lankan government, and boats are easily detected, they're seen in advance, and they can be taken to Christmas Island and returned, as just happened in the last couple of days. The main problem that the government is going to face is not now. It's going to be when they grant permanent residence to 19,000 people who are here on temporary protection visas. They will get a permanent residence and be able to sponsor their family members. So you could see that is going to be a significant incentive. There's also 500 cases of people who are unresolved in offshore detention, Nauru, PNG, and people brought here under Medivac. So I think those people will also be included in the permanent resident scheme. And so the smugglers are going to be able to sell that. And that's what happened in 2009. Remember, under the previous Howard government, there were temporary protection visas. They were abolished, and in 2008 there was a new scheme that granted everyone here a permanent visa. And at the same time, in February 2008, Kevin Rudd abolished the Pacific solution. And so the boat started in 2009. And so I think that the challenge for the government is going to be boats from Indonesia, carrying Afghans, Syrians, Iraqis. And if you remember the last boat arrival migrant group, there was about 33 different countries, including some from Europe, who turned up.
Well, I would say this. I think there will be boats from Sri Lanka because I think the economic crisis there will be quite severe. We're getting a food crisis being imposed on that, thanks in part to the Ukraine war. And you're quite right. They're being turned, they're detected, they're being turned back at some cost. But people may actually drown trying. That's the one concern. And when it's all, I fear that it could get, as you say, so much that the defences could get overwhelmed. But we shall see. We shall see. So far, the Labor government is holding the line. Simon Jeans, thank you so much indeed for your time. Appreciate it.